so I know he got it. The bad news is now it knows I'm in that tent and I feel totally exposed. That sounded like a gorilla. I've never heard anything like that before. That was wild.
Deep in the woods, explorers stumbled upon what might be the giant nests from the latest episode of Expedition Bigfoot. As they walked through the thick, whispering forest, a chilling sight caught their eyes. Creatures large and elusive, tending to their young in carefully crafted nests. The air grew tense, thick with the feeling of eyes watching from every dark corner. Could these signs reveal the hidden dwellers of these ancient forests? Tune in. Let's uncover the secrets behind these mysterious nests of giants. Exposing the secrets of natural habitats. In a thick forest, two people were walking upright, exploring the dense trees, hoping to learn more about their surroundings. "Wow, look at that," one of them said, noticing some creatures taking care of their young. "This spot gives us such a clear view. It's amazing." They spotted small, rounded areas on the ground and got excited, thinking they might have found some nests. As they moved closer, their excitement turned to apprehension. In the dense underbrush of the Lost Coast, a stretch of Northern California coastline shrouded in mystery, Russell and his companion Mireya tread cautiously. Their senses were heightened due to an earlier encounter with large heat signatures that had abruptly appeared and vanished, as if the very air around them held secrets. Such an event wasn't just unsettling, it hinted at unseen watchers, creatures that moved silently and observed with intent. As seasoned survivalists, Russell and Mireya knew to respect the wilderness and its inhabitants, but this was different. Something was palpably amiss. In an instant, the quiet of the forest was broken by the emergence of a massive bear from the shadows. Both survivalists stood frozen, their initial curiosity quickly replaced by the stark reality of their vulnerability. Mireya counted not one, but several bears, a clear indication that they might have stumbled close to a den. The presence of cubs could complicate their escape, as maternal bears were notoriously protective. Without a word, they knew it was time to retreat. Gathering their gear with trembling hands, they prepared to leave the area, their minds racing with the potential dangers of a hasty departure. That night, as Russell tried to find solace in sleep, his mind replayed the day's events, each sound and shadow a reminder of their brush with the wild. Despite his extensive experience in the wilderness, feeling watched was unsettling, a sensation that many dismissed as paranoia until they too felt the unseen eyes upon them. The forest, with all its beauty and mystery, could also be a labyrinth of fear when one sensed a predator's gaze. The following day, determined to understand more about their unseen observers, Mireya and another team member, Bryce, decided to cover more ground separately. Mireya's discovery of a large clump of hair the previous night had sparked a new line of inquiry. To find answers, Bryce arranged a meeting with Dr. Karen Bondar, a biologist specializing in animal behavior. Their conversation focused on the role of mating in animal behavior, a fundamental force driving the actions of creatures great and small. Dr. Bondar elaborated on the diverse mating strategies across species. From combat to complex rituals, each evolved to ensure the propagation of genes. In the wild, knowledge was not just power, it was survival. Understanding these patterns could provide insights into the behavior of the creatures they encountered, potentially revealing more than just the means of survival, but the very essence of the elusive beings that shared the forest with them. Such knowledge was crucial not just for their research, but for their safe passage through these hidden realms where the line between observer and observed was constantly blurred. Let's see what else the wild has to show us. How reproduction shapes animal societies. For example, in some species, males fight each other to win over females, while in others they might show off with unique behaviors to catch a female's attention. All these actions are about making sure the strongest and healthiest genes are passed on. Interestingly, after mating, some species even experience what's called sperm competition, where males compete in another way, by having stronger or more sperm to increase their chances of fathering the offspring. But it doesn't stop there. Female animals also have strategies to choose the best possible father for their young. They may pick males who are better providers or show signs of having strong genes like good physical traits. In some cases, females mate with several males to ensure that their offspring have a wide variety of genes, which can be crucial for their survival and adaptability. This back and forth of mating strategies isn't just about survival. It also influences how animals manage their resources, protect their homes, and form relationships with others in their group. For instance, in social species like chimpanzees and bonobos, these mating behaviors can lead to less competition and more cooperation, helping the whole group thrive. But this isn't the most surprising part. Reproductive behaviors not only affect individual animals, but also shape how groups interact and evolve. These behaviors are key to ensuring that animals not only survive, but also pass on their best genes to the next generation. As a result, mating is more than just about producing offspring. It drives how animals live, work together, and adapt to their environment. In a remote research setting, an individual painstakingly examines a fur sample, concluding that it lacks the distinctive markings of the creature in question. Thus, it is deemed irrelevant to the ongoing investigation. The researcher's attention then shifts to another specimen, hoping it might reveal insights into how breeding influences behavioral traits. In the animal kingdom, breeding is a competitive affair, particularly among larger species, where males often engage in fierce conflicts to attract mates. Securing a mate involves arduous journeys for many animals, including mammals and birds. This challenge is magnified for elusive creatures reputed to inhabit vast wildernesses, such as the mythical Bigfoot. The researcher ponders whether these beings travel as pairs or form familial groups. Unlike humans, monogamy is rare in the wild. Most animals do not stick with a single partner, which suggests that these creatures might have diverse and complex social structures. Observations across various primates indicate a spectrum of relationships, encompassing both heterosexual and homosexual bonds. The animal kingdom displays a myriad array of relationships. Species like bottlenose dolphins and silverback gorillas might engage with multiple partners. Although the notion of an alpha male or a primary female prevails, a closer examination reveals a richer variety of social dynamics. Upon scrutinizing another fur sample under the microscope, no distinctive markings are observed that could link it to Bigfoot. However, an intriguing behavior is noted: wildlife utilizing charred trees as shelters. The possibility of deer being a primary food source for Bigfoot integrates into the broader ecosystem narrative. Yet the true complexity lies within the mating rituals and breeding behaviors, which suggest intricate interactions within these areas. As the animals convene in the breeding grounds, the next phases involve mate selection and reproduction. The site is bustling with activity, offering a prime opportunity to capture more sound recordings or potentially encounter one of these enigmatic creatures directly. The discussion concludes on a hopeful note, expressing gratitude for the insights gained and wishing luck in further explorations. Now we step deeper into the untamed world. Encounters with a strange creature. Now here's where things stand. We are 10 miles from where Mireya and Bryce are. Russell is getting close to the target area in the northeast. The area we're heading toward looks a lot like the nesting sites we've seen before. We need to move quietly now. The recent rain might actually help us by softening the ground so we can walk without making much noise, which could be really important. In a dense forest where the shadows mingle with light, signs of frequent animal activity paint a vivid scene of the wilderness's hustle. The path, marked clearly by the trampled plants, whispers tales of constant passers-by. Amidst this natural corridor, a set of bear tracks catches the eye, a telltale sign of recent hefty visitors. The impressions in the soil are not just numerous, but varied in size, suggesting the presence of a mother bear and her cubs who might have explored this very spot under the cover of the previous night. Such discoveries, while thrilling, weave a thread of caution through the air. The thought lingers that an encounter with these wild denizens, especially a protective mother and her offspring, could escalate beyond mere observation to something far more perilous. Each track, especially the larger ones that could belong to a year-old cub still under the mother's watch, serves as a stark reminder of the proximity to danger. Miles away, the narrative branches out as Mireya and Bryce venture eastward from their base, driven by curiosity and scientific dedication. They aim to retrieve a plaster cast of an enormous footprint that had captured their attention from day one. Inspired by Dr. Bondar's theories, they ponder the possibility that they are treading near a Bigfoot breeding ground, a concept both exhilarating and groundbreaking. The notion that Bigfoot, usually a solitary creature, might be found in familial clusters is rare and stirs the imagination about social structures unknown. The tracks suggest a potential hierarchical structure reminiscent of other primate societies, where a dominant male leads, shouldering the risks, while females and juveniles tread safely behind him. If these impressions are indeed those of Bigfoot, they could unlock new understandings of these elusive giants' social behaviors. As we walk deeper into the forest, each step reveals a world full of life hidden beneath the trees. It's not just about the plants. The animals and insects living here create a bustling, vibrant community. The forest is like a natural city, with each creature playing its part in the bigger picture. For instance, consider the leafcutter ants. These tiny creatures have complex societies and impressive building skills. They carve out paths through the forest floor, defending them fiercely against any threats. Despite their small size, they are a powerful force in this natural world. Moving across the globe, we find stories like the one about the three sisters in Australia. Legend says these rock formations were once three sisters turned to stone. It's just one of the many magical tales the forest holds, reminding us that forests are full of mystery and history. In the northern parts of the world, the northern lights dance above the forest, creating a breathtaking display of color. This isn't just a pretty sight, it's a natural event that shows how Earth's atmosphere interacts with cosmic energy. It's a reminder that the forest connects us to something much larger than ourselves. But it's not all about science. Many cultures have woven stories about the forest into their myths. From ants saving a bear cub in a fable to spirits watching over ancient Celtic woods, these tales show how the forest has always been a place of wonder and imagination. These stories teach us about survival and cooperation, both for humans and animals. And speaking of survival, consider the Alaskan wood frog. This frog freezes itself solid during the winter only to thaw out and hop around again when spring arrives. It's just one example of how the creatures of the forest have learned to adapt in amazing ways. The forest calls us to discover more of its stories, tracking Bigfoot's hidden trails. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Every single creature, from the smallest ant to the monarch butterfly, plays a role in this ongoing story. The forest isn't just a backdrop, it's full of life, characters, and drama that rivals any busy city street. And every day the story grows as new creatures emerge and new interactions unfold. In the end, the forest is a world of its own. It's alive with stories waiting to be told. And each time you step into it, you get a chance to hear and experience something new. All you have to do is listen to the whisper of the leaves and the wisdom they hold. Discovering a lone Bigfoot footprint in the vast wilderness is often a startling yet common occurrence for those in pursuit of the elusive creature. This was the case recently when a solitary print was found, suggesting the presence of a male Bigfoot possibly scouting a safe haven for his family. This single print ignited a flurry of excitement and speculation among the search team, pointing to the possibility that the creature's family might not be far behind. The excitement was palpable as the team made a plaster cast of the footprint. The process of creating the cast was meticulous, filled with anticipation for the detailed result that awaited once the plaster hardened. As the cast dried, the details that emerged were astounding, presenting a clear and vivid outline of what appeared to be a large primate foot. The discussions among the team, led by experts like Dr. Bondar and Mara, delved into the behaviors and movements of primates. These insights led to the hypothesis that the footprint might belong to a dominant male Bigfoot in search of new territory for his group. This theory aligned well with the known patterns of primate behavior, particularly in terms of territorial expansion and family safety. In the midst of their journey, the team ventured about 9 miles northeast from their initial search area, led by Bryce Russell towards what was believed to be a nesting area for Bigfoot. The landscape, however, presented new challenges. Recent environmental changes had transformed the terrain drastically. What were once benign streams had turned into formidable rivers due to heavy rains and landslides. Facing such obstacles required quick thinking and adaptability. The idea of retreating was quickly dismissed in favor of finding a way to cross the swollen river. Utilizing the resources at hand, the idea of creating a makeshift bridge using a large tree as an anchor point emerged as a viable solution. After several attempts, the rope was successfully secured, providing a means to traverse the turbulent waters. This achievement was not just about crossing a river. It was a testament to the determination and resourcefulness needed when facing the unknown and unpredictable elements of the wild. The team's ability to adapt and overcome obstacles echoed the very essence of exploration and the continuous quest for understanding the mysteries hidden in nature's depths. Such endeavors not only bring us closer to unraveling the mysteries of elusive creatures like Bigfoot, but also deepen our connection with the natural world. He aimed to loop the rope around the tree so he could secure both ends on his side, making it easier to cross. "It's not a short throw, this is going to be tough," he admitted. After several tries, the hook came close. It hit branches, touched the tree, but often landed in the wrong spot. Each failed throw made the task even more challenging. There it is, come on," he shouted when the rope finally caught the tree in just the right way. With the rope now anchored on both sides of the river, he had to make sure it was tight enough to support his weight. "If I get this right, I won't even get wet. But if not, well, we'll see," he muttered, unsure of how things would turn out. Crossing this river, we get closer to the wild's secrets, the strange clues of the hot zone. Getting the rope in place saved him 2 days of travel, which was a huge relief. Taking risks can really pay off, he thought, happy with the progress. Now that he was on the other side, the next step was to tighten the rope and get his gear, plus the cameraman, across. "We have to stay on schedule if we're going to make it to the nesting site," he reminded himself. But things weren't that simple. While he was busy with his mission, Russell was continuing on his journey, and Bryce had just welcomed a new team member, Ben Smith, a former CIA agent. Ben was gathering important info from the locals about recent Bigfoot sightings. His job was to figure out which stories could be trusted. "There's a surprising number of leads here," Ben noted, as they noticed strange, creepy sounds that seemed to follow them, creating an unsettling presence. One morning, Debbie, who had lived in the valley for many years, had an experience that completely changed her thoughts about Bigfoot. She was fast asleep when a strange noise outside woke her up. At first, it sounded like the engine of a motorcycle roaring in the early morning darkness. This was odd because it was too early for anyone to be out on a motorbike. Feeling curious, Debbie walked over to her open window to figure out what was making the noise. As she listened closely, the engine sound shifted and became a deep echoing howl that grew louder and louder. This wasn't a motorbike at all. It was something different. Debbie felt a cold shiver run down her spine as the howl filled the air. It was so close that it unsettled her. Standing by the window, she realized the sound was coming from a nearby hill, right next to a forested area. It was so clear and strange that Debbie couldn't help but wonder if she had just heard a Bigfoot. She couldn't stop thinking about the strange howl she had heard. For days, she went online searching for similar sounds and comparing them to what she had experienced. Finally, she found a recording of a Bigfoot howl, and it matched exactly. That was the moment when Debbie, once a skeptic, became a believer. Her story grabbed the attention of a group of researchers looking for signs of Bigfoot in an area known as the Hot Zone. Her description of the howl and the location gave them important clues. The team became more excited, believing this could be a big breakthrough in their search for Bigfoot's possible home. But that wasn't the most exciting part. As night approached on the second day of their search, the team decided to change their tactics. They switched to using red lights, which are less likely to scare animals, allowing them to move quietly through the forest. They were following a promising lead, a fresh footprint, which they thought could belong to a large male Bigfoot. This made them wonder if there was a family nearby, which raised the stakes even more. During their nighttime exploration, the team noticed some strange things about the forest. They saw a large log that seemed out of place. At first, they thought it might have been put there by Bigfoot as a way to mark its territory, but after taking a closer look, they realized it was likely moved by heavy rainstorms in the area. As their night went on, the team continued to hear unusual sounds and saw other signs that pointed to the presence of Bigfoot. Each new clue made their mission even more interesting and pushed them to keep going, deeper into the forest and closer to solving the mystery. As they moved closer to what they believed could be Bigfoot's nest, The forest seemed to come alive, full of signals and hints that encouraged them to keep searching for the truth about the elusive creature. What do you think? Could the signs and sounds be the work of Bigfoot, or are there more logical explanations? Like, comment, and subscribe to join the debate and discover more mysteries.